I just want to extend a bit of gratitude to two people in particular. I mean, to all of you, but first is John Mark Shaw. In 2020, I was referred to John because I was just a mess. I thought I was on the right track and I wasn't. And I was referred to John, and it was a transformative experience. And it's been almost 4 years now, which is incredible to think back that it's been that long. So a huge thank you to John. And then to Jay. I met Jay again at one of John's events, and he said, "Why aren't you coming to this BNI group?" And I thought, I don't have a good answer for that, and I would love to. So here I am, and I'm grateful for it. So this, as soon as I really grasped the complexity and the simplicity of this message, is when I was really set free. And I wrote it from a first-person perspective because I'd like you all to read it, because I think this embodies a lot of the way that we think and feel and how we carry ourselves. We talked about fear today, and this is a big one. When you unlock this and realize that it has nothing to do with anyone else except yourself, you know you're going to do good, because that's what we're here to do. It becomes easier. You know you're going to do good already. So if somebody doesn't really agree with what you're doing, it doesn't matter. Don't allow that to walk you through. So I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here because most of you don't know me. You know what I do. I make content for companies. I make social media content, website banner videos, all that fun stuff. But I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So, these are some of the videos that I do. I work with restaurants. I work with real estate. I like to think I produce like these little mini documentaries. Oh, no internet. Thanks, Bia. All right, Cornell Club. I thought I had the internet connection. It's all right. If it would have played, it would have been this gentleman explaining why he put this light fixture in and how it impacted the restaurant that he did it for. You would get a grip on that. Anyway, so here's about me. This is where I grew up. My parents still live in this house. This is 53 Delcar Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. If anybody's ever driven through Fall River, Massachusetts, that's enough. It's a beautiful, vibrant city that was about 100 years ago really fell off the cliff when textiles left the area, but it's on the up and up. My parents still live in this house. I grew up here. I was born July 12th, 1975, if you're interested. Thank you. 02, no. This is Jim and Barbara. That's my dad and my mom. They're fantastic. I was there this weekend hanging out with them. I had a really impactful funeral to go to over the weekend. An uncle of mine who was an entrepreneur and got me interested in the in the restaurant business passed. But that's always a big reason to kind of reconnect and think about what's important and how you're making an impact. There's Jim and Barbara. Those are my children. That's Cole. That's Isabel. He just turned 8 and she just turned 5. They are my absolute reason. Yeah. I don't know why there's a blank. Oh yeah, hold on. So growing up in Fall River, it's like I said, a blue collar community, and I realized really quickly that I was pretty miserable and I wanted to get out. So I moved to Boston in 2001 and I spent some time there. And while I was there, I just kind of jumping from thing to thing. I had no real structure, no real reason to do anything. And I felt like there was something else out there. So in 2005, I moved to California on a whim. I knew one person. I had $2,200. I called 2 friends. We jumped in my car and we left. That was it. I've always been a big thinker and maybe a little bit impulsive, but I knew that there was something to it. There was a reason I was doing this, and I just didn't know what it was yet, but that was okay. So I moved to California I moved to Hermosa Beach. It was insane, and I fulfilled my dreams of being a beach bum. On paper, I was kind of a loser. Those are medals for drinking. We did this thing called Monday Fun Day, and those are medals for Power Hour. If anybody knows what a Power Hour is, it's a shot every minute for 100 minutes. Thank you. Shots of beer, but it's about 17 beers in 100 minutes. I have 5 of those medals. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. I met Samantha. She's from New York City. We met in LA. We got married. We were together for about 14 years. It was a whirlwind romance. She's gasoline, I'm fire. She's also fire, I'm also gasoline, which was crazy. And I wrote this, I'd always been a big thinker, but felt stuck and frustrated with my results well into my 40s. And I knew there was something out there, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the courage to go for it. I was always told, you can do anything you want, but as soon as I started to communicate that to people, they would say, well, how are you going to do that? And then immediately I started to retreat. And that's not a healthy way to be. I bought this house in Tiverton, Rhode Island, and it was awesome. It was on 2.5 acres. And then 10 months into it, Samantha said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like rural Rhode Island. I don't like you. I want to go back to New York. I'm out. And I thought to myself, okay. I'd already been talking with John, and he and I talked a lot about this, and I really did have a choice. What was I going to do? I could curl up in a ball and get frustrated and blame circumstance and just be outwardly objective and have all these things. Or I could say, let me embrace this. Let's go back to New York. I skipped a part. She and I lived in New York for 5.5 years, and I was in a suit going door to door doing software sales, which I hated, but I knew I wanted to cut my teeth in sales. I knew it was what was required to be told no and be told no harshly and then still figure out what to do. But I hated it. So then in the pandemic, COVID came around, we moved to Rhode Island, and like I said, 10 months into it, that was that. Just a side note, she and I are very good friends. We're way better friends than married couple. We're very committed to our children, so that's what's on with that. A friend of mine said, you must be so angry about all these things that you've done and all this effort that you've put into and all these things, and you have to sell your house, you're moving back to New York, a place you hate. How do you justify? Why are you so upbeat? And it was with John. I keep throwing it to John. I don't mean to make this like a he and I thing, but I hadn't thought like this. My dream wasn't big enough. And as soon as I leaned into that aspect of my dream, that it wasn't big enough, just all these things started to flow in. It was amazing. It was really amazing. I'll leave this up here to just kind of wrap it up, and I'm probably going to be less than 10 minutes, but it takes a tremendous amount of courage to do something that you want to do and then go all in with it. And then knowing that it's the little things, and Brian and I talked about this just this morning, it's being here in this moment. And a profound impact that I think about is even the time that I started this presentation, that's over. It's gone. So it's the moments that you do what you need to do that really transform what's going to happen. And the moment that you really put yourself out there and say, I'm open to this, I'm here to put out this impact, it just starts to come back to you. So I thought, what am I really good at? I was in real estate sales for a while. I worked with Compass in the city, and it's really challenging. It really is. If you're brand new in the real estate business, especially in this city, it's hard. And I started making videos for the company that I was working with. And as I made videos, more people would call me and say, can you make one of those for me? And I said, yeah, sure. So I made one for them. And then somebody says, I'm opening up a restaurant. Would you do a video for me? And I said, sure, I'll do a video. And I said, hold on a second. I'm onto something here. And the impact that I had giving back to people who said, I have an idea. I want to put this on video. I want to show it to as many people as I can. What do? I say, I'm going to lean into that. And it was only when I leaned into what I was truly good at, but also what I could have fun with, and then see an impact. There was a perfect alignment. I mean, video is white hot. I'm really good at it. I really enjoy it. But what the most fulfillment I guess I get from it is seeing the result. Seeing somebody watching their own video and saying, I didn't know I could sound like that, or I didn't know we could look like that. I thought about putting up some clips of working with people where they'll get one sentence into a thought and then stop. And they say, I can't do this, or this is no good, or shit, this is. And then with the power of editing, and then just some positivity in the moment to encourage people to keep going, the result is staggering. So my encouragement to all of you is to really think about what this means to you. And work with somebody like myself, a professional who knows how to make your image and your business look its best through the power of video, and then shed what anybody else thinks, because a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. And that's okay, just as long as you don't allow the fear to have you. That's it.